I'm quite humbled to be here. I'm a Teesside graduate. I attended the university in '97, and so to be back here 20 years later and to be able to talk about the business that Teesside has helped me create is really quite a humbling moment. So, like I say, we're Animmersion. We're based here in the Tees Valley. We've been established now for over 12 years. And we started out as an animation company and have gone on to expand what we do in various areas in the digital services sector, which I'll help try explain. More importantly, what is it we do? We're an animation company, like I say, but we've gone on to expand that, and the reason why we've gone on to expand that is the area in which we're in, the support in which we have in the area, has allowed us to attract a different talent pool to what most areas that are developing digital are. We have quite a diverse talent pool in the world of digital. Now, for us, they're actually, all these things are the same thing, but we appreciate that digital is a confusing world, and it's a new world. Often when I speak about holograms, everybody thinks that I'm about to bring out an R2-D2 and show them that. But what we've tried to do is work with our staff, work with our other companies that we work with the sectors that we work in, to help explain that digital is something that can really impact their business. It's not about technology, it's about what digital can do for you. What are the challenges? Like I say, we were founded in 2006. We're very proud to say that 95% of the staff that we have at Animmersion graduates of Teesside University. And that's come around for various reasons. We've actually brought people back from outside of the region that came to Teesside University. They've gone to work in London and have come back to the area, and that is really quite a humbling thing to be able to do. We're based in the Boho, but we've been the benefit of everything that Teesside has been able to offer. We've been part of the Launchpad here at Teesside University, part of Digital City and the fellowship that was there to support us. We've gone on to then expand into the Boho building, which is the digital cluster down in Middlesbrough. If you've ever been there, if you've never had the chance to go down there, I advise to go down and have a look and see all the diverse businesses. We've got a huge range of diverse businesses, from computer gaming to IT to ourselves, video production, artificial intelligence. It really is quite a burgeoning sector. And what we've done with Animmersion is we've managed to grow that year on year by the support that we've had in the area, by the emerging technologies, by the dawn of digital. That has taken us around the world, and it truly has taken us around the world. We are currently talking about delivering projects in Canada. We've just delivered in South Africa. We're delivering projects in Europe. Delivered projects in Australia. My business partner's travelling out to America to do projects in New Orleans and New York next week. Well, how's that come about? Really, because there's now the focus on digital. People are now beginning to aware that digital is no longer a nice to have. It can actually have a real value within the business. So I just want to give you some examples here of the kind of clients we work with. We're always told we punch well above our weight, which I'm very happy to say. But how do we do that? Well, I'll show you what we do. the great things about being an animation company is you always get to show 2 minutes worth of video as part of your presentation. But one thing that I hadn't spoken about here is what do we do at Animmersion, and we have an industrial focus, which is why we have chosen the North East. It's why we've chosen the North. In the world of digital, everybody kind of goes for computer games because of entertainment sector. We've seen a gap. We saw an opportunity is that we have a burgeoning industrial sector here. We have an absolute need to support that industry. And so from Animmersion's point of view, we were trying to bring technologies to industry in a way that haven't been used before, is actually to empower the industries and say, actually, you guys are in charge of what you want to do. It's not as tech companies that are telling you this tech is great, it's fancy, this is, buy this bit of hardware. It's actually, what are your challenges? What are you going to do? Because one thing that you can say about the North East is that there is a very driven and determined mindset. There's passion about what we're trying to do. By working with partners and working with the people in the industry that we're doing, we all appreciate what our strengths are, but we also recognise our weaknesses. And so by being based in the North East, by working with the companies that we do to support them in the way that we do with digital services, it gives us a perfect position to actually say, well, we're going to play to our strengths and we're going to let you play to your strengths. We've had a fantastic talent pool. One of the things that is an interesting challenge for us, the university produces fantastic students when it comes to doing what we do. And like I say, we're mostly graduates of Teesside University. It is a great position for us to be in. That is one of the great reasons for us to build our business in the region, and one of the reasons why we will continue to do so. The support mechanisms that we've discussed, Teesside University, Digital City, Tees Valley Combined Authority, wider than that, NGI, Coming Together Digital Union, the Creative Fuse. There really is a drive to try and bring this closer together, and we're happy to be part of that as we start to see the emerging technologies expand into areas that have never been here before. And it's incumbent upon ourselves as a business to support to be involved in these support mechanisms, so businesses can really see the value of what digital can bring. And the other part of it, which is one that is often used but is true, is that there is a lower than average running costs. For a digital business that's having to do huge amounts of investment in infrastructure, that is something that has allowed us to support us in the growth of our business to this day. Without that, we wouldn't be where we are. However, it doesn't come without its challenges. One of the biggest challenges we have, and we have around the country, is the client's perceptions of the North East. One of the biggest problems that we had about 3 years ago, there was a BBC article about the dodgy fire sticks that you can buy, and it was targeted by, I believe, the Daily Mail, about how it was Middlesbrough, and they were selling them in the market, and that's what Middlesbrough was doing, and it was infecting the country with dirty digital tools. And so whenever we were speaking to people about what we did, they just instantly went, well, sure, you're the dodgy guys that are just pirating things. That's an issue for us. There is a perception issue there, that if we don't get control of, people are always going to smear us with that brush. More generally, not just the North East, but there is no golden bullet for digital. And what do I mean by that is, when it comes to approaching digital at the moment, digital is not a service in the way, it's a strategy. It should run throughout all businesses. There is no one thing that you're going to do with digital that's going to solve all of your problems. It's bringing that in as a strategy within the business and how that can affect the business as they grow. More increasingly, we are becoming more reliant on Apple, Google, Microsoft, and beginning to see an imbalance of how we grow our businesses there. We are led down a path where we are servicing businesses that aren't based in the North East. Their profits aren't based in the North East. They're not actually doing much to support us in the North East. I think it's really incumbent upon us as a digital company to educate the companies that we work with, to actually empower them to say, digital tools are yours. They're not the things that you're being given and told how to use. You use them however you want. We want to see this become core of every business. There was a revolution in the mid-90s of IT being brought into the boardroom. Now is the point to start bringing digital into the boardroom. People start taking it seriously. Like I say, it's not a service, it's a strategy, and should run throughout every business and the core thinking of what they're doing. Attracting and retaining talent is an issue for us, but it's in a different world to one that people would expect. When it comes to bringing talent in as far as development staff, that's not the challenge. When it comes to bringing in business staff, when it comes to bringing salespeople, when it comes to bringing accounts, directors, that's our challenge. That really is our challenge, because they've never been given the opportunity to dream that they could be in that role. That then brings on the opposite effect of the scaling up. Where we are in Middlesbrough, where we've been as a digital sector, we had a lot of support in the background. That in recent years has started to drop away. We've got businesses that have grown and scaled, but have nowhere to scale up to. We have none of this business staff that we're able to call in. So actually the challenges on us is not to grow our development staff, it's to grow the business. Digital businesses are no different to any other business. We run our businesses exactly the same. We have a balance sheet, we have a board, we have to make reports, we have to generate profit. Whenever I hear a digital company stand up and go, oh, we're slightly different, we're digital, I really worry for them, because it's actually, we need to take that approach of realising that in the digital sector we have the same challenges that every other business does. And of course what we're talking about here, uncertainty over Brexit, for us in the world of digital, it really is uncertain. We don't know. We just don't know. We work across Europe. We, at this moment in time, we supply holograms that we buy out of Denmark and send to South Africa. We bring in European freelancers that work within the studio. We're unclear at this moment in time as to what the effect of this is going to have on us. And we want to get a greater understanding of it. But as we say, out of challenges come opportunity. And the opportunity for us in this actually is really quite interesting, as far as people are now taking digital much more seriously. They're starting to understand how they can bring this in to affect their business. We're looking now to consult with clients, and like I say, actually turn the conversation around. Rather than what can this tech do for me, is actually turn around and think, what challenges do you have? What are the problems? How can digital support you? It's not just hardware, it's not just a capital equipment. What are the things that are going to actually change the way in which you're working? Artificial intelligence, cloud computing, immersive technologies, these things are here to support the challenges you have. They're not here to replace the way in which you work. Continuing to develop that will allow innovation and technologies to grow across not just digital businesses, but traditional businesses as well. Where we're working with some of the companies, we've just delivered a solution for Unipress up in Sunderland. Their biggest challenge is that they have overhead cranes. Those overhead cranes are in 24-hour use. How do you ever train anybody to use a crane that's always in use? We've created a virtual reality scene that is set in their factory using the exact equipment that they do with the exact joysticks. They go into the exact environment and they're able to practice. All of a sudden we've increased the opportunity for learning, increased retainment of staff, but also the adoption of digital technologies. We need to make sure that we understand how that drives the economics of the businesses. It's not just about it's a nice to have. It's not about bringing digital in because this is what I've been told to have. In the way of Unipress, what we're trying to actually say is what's driving these decisions? What is going to make a difference in your business by using digital? By doing that, we can start to capitalise on the trends of emerging technology. One of the great things that we have in the North East is a focus around this emerging technology. We have a great university locally to us. We also have the Digital Catapult. We have a wider network that are all focusing and supporting us in this world of emerging technologies. And it's up to us, while we have that focus on us, to make the most of it. And that's what we're trying to do in digital. Thank you.